Hello everyone and welcome to a new adventure where we're going to be playing Ironsworn. This is going to be a one-off. We're going to be playing from start to finish in a single episode, okay? So it's going to be a self-contained video. You don't need to watch anything prior, or there's not going to be another episode that follows this directly. So you can enjoy this and perhaps you can pick a few tricks for your next games. Okay, so this is our character, is called Ograss, and he is a mystic. Okay, so we have these three assets right here. We have the first asset that I picked was ritualist, so which basically gives him advantages when he's going to perform a ritual. Okay, then we have Lord Keeper, which allows us to make a secure advantage or gather information move with a +1 when we use our tome or a book or a repository of knowledge to find information about what we're going to do, okay? And finally, we had the invoke asset, where we drain we drain essence from our environments, and we use that to do plus essence when we secure an advantage or face danger, okay? All right, and finally, we have these traits here. Our character is ambitious, honest, and arrogant. Hopefully we can weave that in our adventure. And for attributes, we have +2 iron, +2 heart, and the most important, +3 wits. And we're going to start our adventure with only 2 essence, okay? We are a traveling mystic, so to say. We're still learning our trait. As you can see, we only have one of each in every asset. So our character is somewhat new to this adventuring thing, okay? We're going to start playing in the settlement of Bronzefield, and I'm going to make our character talking a bit smaller, okay? I'm going to put it here so we can see both at the same time. So we're going to be starting our adventure in the village of Bronzefield, and I'm going to open the map for the village, okay? So let's say our character arrived here perhaps today or a couple days ago, and he came here, and this is something that I thought before I started to make the video. He came here because he heard rumors about a mist that's sapping the strength from the villagers and the inhabitants of Bronzefield, okay? And since our character is a mystic, he's interested in this kind of stuff. Alright, so I think what we should do is, okay, so we just arrived here and we want to figure out what is happening and how we can not necessarily solve it, but how can we learn from it, okay? That's the main drive of our character. So what I'm going to do is going to add a couple NPCs to this village to flavor it a bit more and see what happens, okay? And I'm going to add a peasant or a villager, okay? I'm gonna roll a couple times. Let's say we add this one, okay? Zephyr Gravik, okay? And I'm going to drop him right here, okay? And perhaps I think we're just gonna go with that NPC, okay? This is the person. He's here in the town square, and we're walking about on the town, and we came upon this person, okay? That's where we're going to start. We start when our character Ograss is in the square of this village, and he comes upon this Zephyr character. Okay, perfect. So this guy is trusting and temperate. Okay, he's a peasant. Okay, so we're approaching him, so we can see him. I think we could gauge his disposition. Okay, he's hostile, which makes sense. I mean, the people here are suffering from some sort of mystical plague or effect, so they wouldn't be happy all day. Okay, and I think what makes sense here is we try to gather information. Okay, but since we are a lore keeper, I think we perhaps, instead of outright speaking to this person, we could observe him. We could observe our surroundings. We see this fine mist that kind of covers everything around, and perhaps there is something in our repository of knowledge, that our archive, mystical archive. Okay, I'm going to refer it as archive from now on. Let's say it could be a book, it could be some sort of crystal that we use to instill with our knowledge and retrieve it later. I think that I think that sounds good to me. Okay. It's an item, an artifact that we use to store knowledge and retrieve it. Okay. So we could secure advantage or gather information. I think in this case it makes sense that we would gather information, try to see if we have if there is some knowledge about something similar happening before, okay? And then we could use that to speak with this person. So when you gather information using lore, recall from your studies, add +1. Okay, so we are going to add +1. If you have few hours, no, we don't have few hours, so it's going to be only this. Okay, on a hit, envision the obscure and helpful knowledge you put to use, and take +1 momentum. Okay, so we're going to do a gather information roll, and it says when you search an area, ask questions, conduct an investigation. So I think the way we're going to frame this is I'm going to do one single gather information roll. We are using the knowledge that we have in our archive, and we are also going to be asking this person, observing this person. All that is going to be condensed into a single move, okay? And it's going to be roll plus wits. Okay, so we roll and we roll plus wits, and we get a strong hit. Okay, very good. Roll plus wits, and when a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take is made clear. Envision what you learn. Okay, we could ask the oracle, and we take +2 momentum. So here we're going to be taking 1 momentum from the lore keeper asset and +2 from the gather information move. Okay, so that will put us on +5. Okay, perfect. Now we have to interpret the result. All right, so I want this to be an adventure where we have to do some traveling, maybe go to a dungeon. So I think it would make sense. Let me check the map. It would make sense that let's say that using our knowledge and using the repository and the knowledge from the repository, we can sense, or we can yes, we can sense that the mist is coming from, let's say, this direction, okay, northeast, okay. That's what we sensed, and then we can, using that and our conversation with this character, this NPC, we speak with him. He tells us that the mist is causing everyone in the village to feel weaker, more weaker and weaker with each passing day. And this is something that takes days to affect you. So for now, our character is not affected. Could be later in this adventure. But for now, let's say that's something that slowly drains your energy. And we ask him, or we tell him that the mist seems to come from the northeast. And he tells us that there's some sort of ruin up there, okay? And that was set us off to this adventure. We have to find out the source of the mist, okay? But before we do that, we're going to swear a vow, and the vow is going to be would it be saving the village? I don't know if that fits with your character. I think it's more like finding the source of the mist, or discovering the source of the mist, because he is always curious about mystical things, okay? So our vow is going to be discover okay, so our bar is going to be discover the source, okay? And I'm going to set this to dangerous. Okay, dangerous is 2 tracks. Okay, I'm going to set this to dangerous. And now we have to make the swear about move. Okay, so okay, move swear an iron vow. When you swear upon iron to complete a quest, write your vow and give the quest a rank. Then roll plus heart. If you make this vow to a person or community with whom you share a bond, add +1. Okay, so we are here in the town square. Zephyr is here. We could assume that more people have been approaching because we are not from around here. And let's say that we are going to make the vow here. Now, our character is arrogant and is ambitious. Okay, so while he's not really interested in saving these people, I think he would be the kind of person who would like he would have an ego, right? He wants people to see him as being superior, I think. Uh, that could be he's kind of on a power trip, right? He's a mystic, and he thinks he's better than normal people. I think that's a good character flow for Ograss. Okay, so he's going to make a big show of it. He's going to swear about here in public, and as you can see, he carries a dagger. He's not a fighter really, but he uses the dagger whenever he needs to, and it's also made of iron, so perhaps he could swear the vow using his dagger. Okay, or we could even make him more dramatic. Maybe he makes a cut on his hand with the dagger, and he promises that he will find the source of the mist and cleanse it. And here we see how his fatal flow being so arrogant and kind of egomaniac. He now is vowing to save these people. Okay, even though he doesn't really care about them, but he cares about what they think of him and the legend of Ograss in the long term. Okay, so we're going to roll plus heart. Okay, plus heart. And we get a weak hit. On a weak hit, you are determined, but begin your quest with more questions than answers. Okay, that does make sense. We only know it's a mist, and we have some vague information about some ruins up north. So we only take +1 momentum. Okay, so we take +1 momentum, and we start with 6 momentum, which is pretty good. And that sets us up for the next part of our adventure. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the main map. And this is where we are, and I'm going to close this. Okay, so let's say that we should travel northeast. All we know is that there is a ruin northeast where the mist seems to be coming from, and I think we could be following the mist using our mystical sense, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to do an undertake a journey move. Okay, journey, undertake a journey. Okay. So when you travel across hazardous or unfamiliar lands, set the rank of your journey. This is going to be, I just want to make one roll to get there, okay? I don't want to drag this too much. So I'm not even going to make a track for this. I'm just going to roll plus wits, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe if we get a miss, we don't arrive and we have to roll one more time, okay? But we roll with wits, and we get a weak hit. On a weak hit, you reach a waypoint and you mark progress but suffer -1 supply. Okay, so let's say that we arrive, let's say when we get here, okay? And this is not our final destination, it was a weak hit, so let's say we stop here. On a weak hit, you mark progress, okay, so we mark progress and let's suffer -1 supply. Okay, but we did reach a waypoint, so let's say that we arrived in an area where the mist is especially thick, perhaps. That would go well with the weak hit. The mist is especially thick here, and perhaps we could use that. To charge up our essence, right? Because it makes sense that we would prepare our essence before we actually arrive at the ruin, right? So if we open the invoke asset, when you consume mystical essence of your surroundings, roll plus wits. On a strong hit, add the value of your action die to your essence track. On a strong hit, so it's only on a strong hit, I believe, right? On a weak hit, as above, but capturing these energies is harrowing. Okay, so we could also do a weak hit. Okay. Okay, so we are going to roll plus wits, and we got a miss with a match. It doesn't really say what happens when you miss. I think we should endure the stress, right? I think that would make sense, right? When we endure stress, we lose 2 spirit. But we also got a match, which would make this even worse. I don't think we should be losing even more spirit, but perhaps we could lose momentum, like our experience is so bad and so, I don't know, traumatized, disturbing. I think disturbing would be a correct word to apply here. That we even lose momentum. Okay, and I'm going to lose only 2 momentum. Not gonna reset it, and we should press on our journey. Okay, I guess we should roll undertake a journey one more to see if we reach here this part without any anything else happening. Okay, so we are going to roll on the Terran journey once more, and we get another weak hit. And remember, no weak hit, you reach a waypoint, you mark progress, suffer -1 supply. Okay, so we are going to reduce the supply to -1, and let's say that we arrived at our destination. Okay, now what we're going to do is we are going to generate a location here. It's going to be a dungeon. Okay, and I think I said ruins before, so let's go with ruins. Okay, ruins, sunken ruins. Okay, we got some zones here. I want to see the map. I want to use a smaller map. Okay, so I'm going to roll a few times until we get something like this. Okay, this is perfect. This is going to be our ruins for this dungeon. Okay, so we accept it, and here we have the eerie ruins. Okay, and now we just arrived here, and I think we're just gonna enter. It's a ruin, so everything is busted, decayed. So and getting inside is not that difficult. Okay, so we open the map, and we are going to drop our character right here, right at the entry. And now I want to put these zones down. Okay, so we have a library. I say this library would make sense. Let's say here. Okay, it points to this place. We have these quarters. It could be right here by the entry. And we have this workshop, which could be also here. Okay. Now let's see what else do we have here. We could add a library, a vault. Okay, it would make sense that will be the final room. Okay, so we add the vault, and let's place it here. This is going to be the last room in the dungeon where we're probably going to find the source of the mist. All right, so okay, so I think we should. I think here the mist here should be thicker, and I think for someone like Ograss, it would be easy to kind of feel where the mist is coming, even inside the rooms. Okay, so we could try to make it. Well, this is practically a one route, right, to the final chamber, so to say. So let's just go room by room. I don't want this to be a dungeon crawl, so perhaps we're going to be facing danger to represent like what happens in these rooms. I don't really want to do combat. I want to really explore the whole ritualist mystic part of Ironsworn, which is something that I hadn't done before. So let's see. Maybe we will have to do combat. Who knows? So let's do face danger, and let's say face danger includes this all the way to the workshop. Okay, and also perhaps we could find a way to increase our essence, because I think it's important to have it higher before we get to the final part. I don't know, just an idea. Okay, so let's do the face danger move. Okay. When you attempt something risky or react to an imminent threat, envision your action and roll. Okay, so it's dangerous because we're traveling in an unknown dungeon, unknown dungeon with some strange magical mist. But I think we could do more. Okay, if we have the Lord Keeper, we could try to secure an advantage. We could do that. We could gain momentum by doing that. I think we could secure an advantage before we start exploring. Maybe use our mystical archive to try to find information about this ruin or something similar to that. So let's do that. Okay. When you attempt something risky, secure an advantage. When you assess a situation, make preparations, or attempt to gain leverage, envision your actions. This is definitely going to be with wits because it's insight and observation. Okay, that will give a +1. Choose one. Okay, so okay, let's try this. We could end up with +2 momentum or something like that. Okay, so okay, Lord Keeper. When you secure an advantage using lore, recall from your story at +1. So we're using the archives to kind of understand where we are, to kind of understand the layout of this place. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to add +1, and then I'm going to roll +wits. Okay, and we get a weak hit. On a weak hit, let's see. On a hit, envision obscure and but helpful knowledge to put to use, and you take +1 momentum. So even if it's a weak hit, we do get +1 momentum. Okay, and then here on a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived and take +1 momentum. Okay, that's good. We gain +2 momentum, and this obscure knowledge or helpful knowledge you could put to use. I think that what could that be? Okay, so let's say that we make it all the way here, okay, to the middle of this place. We pass through the quarters, and there wasn't really anything helpful. Okay, bad chamber. So, like I say, nothing interesting, nothing that would interest our character. Okay. Okay, so we are here. We're about to enter this workshop, and it did say that reveal some knowledge or something that would help us. I think maybe we understand something more about the mist. It does sap energy, but at the same time condenses that energy. So we could try to use the invoke acid again to consume mystical essence. Basically, we could try to consume the mist to increase our essence track. Okay, I think I'm going to do that. I really want to increase our essence track. Okay, so when you consume the mystical essence, roll plus wits. Okay, so let's try it one more time. Okay, we roll plus wits and we get a weak hit. So on a weak hit and as above, capturing these energies is harrowing. All right. Okay, so we have to go with it. So we lose we get 2 stress, so we lose 2 spirit. We're on the brink, so to say. But on a strong hit, add the value of your action die, which is 5. Okay, so if I understand this correctly, that means we can max out the essence all the way to 6. Okay, that's good. So it was quite a trade-off, right? I mean, we lost 2 more spirit, but we gain a full essence track, which would be very useful here. But one thing I'm seeing is that this invoke move, the one about drain surroundings, while powerful, is also dangerous because it's very easy to lose spirit this way. Okay, so we're going to press on, and I think, okay, so we enter the workshop, and I think I'm going to do one more face danger move. That's going to represent us getting all the way to the vault. Okay, we're here in the workshop. Okay, it's a blacksmith forge. Let's say the feature. There are ruined manuscripts here. Okay, so let's do the face the danger move again. Face danger, and this one is with plus wits. And I just recall that I didn't add the +1 when I did this part. I didn't. Because we were securing an advantage. Okay, and we got what? A weak hit. Oh, it's surely okay. No, that was fine. Okay, so I'm going to face danger. This time I'm not going to use the Lord Keeper acid. Okay, feels like cheating at this point. Okay, so roll plus wits, and with a strong hit. On a strong hit, you are successful. You take +1 momentum. Okay, so we gain even more momentum, and we finally get to the vault. All right, and here is the final showdown, so to say. And I haven't been updating this progress track, but I mean we travel here. We made 2 face danger moves, so I think it's safe to say that what we are about this point, right? Travel, face danger. Okay, we have 2 more steps to complete. Okay, so we get here, and now we should probably use the oracles to try to figure out what's happening here. Okay. Right, so let's open the oracles, which you can do from this part right here. And let's say I'm going to use, I love using action and theme. I always use those oracles, so let's use those 2, okay? So follow passage. Okay, that's interesting. So there's a passage here. So perhaps before I was thinking more in the lines of some sort of artifact that made this mist, but by passage, I think it could be some sort of portal, a portal from which the mist is emanating. Okay, I think I like that. So right here, where we have this star icon, there is a portal. Yes, a large portal with with some shimmering light, and you see the mist pouring from this portal. Okay, and so our character here, he studies this portal, or he looks at it. I think that it's not really something that you can cross. I mean, perhaps he. Let's see. Maybe we should use our Lore Keeper asset to gather information about this passage or portal. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so we do the gather information move. You are the bearer of the mystical archive using lore. Okay, we add +1, so +1 to our bonus, and we roll plus wits. Okay, if you have a few hours to search the archive, add +2. Could we stay here a couple hours to do this right, so to say? Let's see. How would we frame this question with the oracle? Are we affected? Are we feeling tired or weakened by the mist? I say it's 50-50. So it says no. Okay, so a couple hours wouldn't hurt us that much. So I think we could add +2 instead. Okay, to perform the gather information move. Okay, so now we roll plus wits. Plus wits, roll, and it's a strong hit. Perfect. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. Envision what you learn and take +2 momentum. Okay, so we have a lot of momentum, which is pretty good. And okay, so let's say we do learn something about the passage. I don't think something really important for gameplay wise. Okay, it's more like something, a piece of knowledge that's important for our character, something he can add to his archive, something about the nature of this portal or passage, and something that if we were playing more episodes could tie to something else later on. So who knows? But for now, what we really want is to know how to close it, because this thing is weakening people back at Bronzefield, and it's probably lethal if it goes on for a while. Okay, it does say in a strong hit you score something helpful or specific. The path you must follow or action you must take is made clear. So by using his mystical archive and the guide information move, he now knows what he must do to close this portal. Okay. So I think that warrants even increasing this even more. We did discover the source, but now really our vow is not discover the source. Is let's say close the source, or yes, close the source of the mist. Okay, that of the mist. I probably should have named it that way back in the village when he made the vow, but it's fine. Okay, and now I think it makes sense that we would use a ritual to close this. Okay, and I think to make this interesting, I'm going to make this a task. Okay, it's going to be a troublesome task. It's going to be close the passage. The passage being a portal for the mist. Okay, close the passage. It's going to be troublesome, so it's going to be 3 or 2 moves to close it. Okay. All right. So I want this to be a ritual. So the first, I want this to be like something slow, methodical. Like he prepares to do this. He has to prepare to do this. Okay. So the first thing he would do, it would be secure an advantage. Okay. And by securing advantage, I mean we prepare ourselves. We prepare the space that we're going to use to channel or to invoke mystical energies to close the passage. That's going to be represented by securing an advantage, and if we get a hit, that's going to be the first step in closing the passage. Okay, and this is close, not Chloe. Okay, close the passage. Okay, so we are going to do secure an advantage. All right, when you assess the situation, okay, we are going to roll plus wits. I don't think this is preparations. Okay, so I don't think we should use the Lore Keeper again or even the invoke asset. I'm just gonna roll plus wits. Okay, plus wits, and we get a weak hit. On a weak hit, your advantage is short-lived, and we take +1 momentum. Okay, that's good. Our momentum track is full. Okay, so it's short-lived, but it's a hit. It's a hit. Okay, so we success in setting up the ritual that we're going to perform. Okay. All right. Now, I think now we should do the actual ritual. right? How will we do this? Could we? What should we do? Okay, I think we should do two more moves for this. Okay, we we could do face danger using the invoke asset. Okay, we have a lot of essence. It would make sense that we would use our essence to create an effect here. But it does say it's a minor mystical effect, so it's not like the final thing that we would do to close the passage, because that would feel like cheating, because it does say minor, and we are going to have a lot of advantage since we have the essence. So let's say that we focus all our essence, all our mystical energies on the portal, trying to contain it, or yes, trying to contain it, not closing it, but containing, so no more mist pours out of the portal. Okay, and it says, let's see. You may then secure an advantage or face danger plus essence to create a minor mystical effect or illusion. If you do, suffer minus essence, attack +1 momentum on a hit. Okay, plus essence. So is that +6? I do think that's what it says. No, we roll plus essence. Yes, because if we roll, for example, plus wits, it's +3. So okay, let's roll with it. So it's a +6. I guess it's supposed to be minor. Add that to our next roll. Okay, we add +5, and we add plus essence. Roll plus essence. Okay, so I'm gonna roll with wits, and our total essence is 6. Okay, so let's set this to 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. That would represent our 6 essence. Okay, so we roll, and we get a strong hit with a match. That was likely. Okay, and we lose only 1 essence for doing this, and we take 1 momentum, but it's already full. Okay. Okay, I think that's perfect. We're gonna strong hit with a match, which means that we get to advance this 1 time, and the match would tell me that we managed to advance it even one more step, right? I think that's fine, because getting a strong hit with a match is not something. It's not easy. Okay, so we not only managed to contain the mist coming out, well, we weaken the portal. We can see it getting fainter after we use all that essence to contain it. Okay, and now finally we could either do the roll for progress move, or we could face danger once more, using only our wits. Let's see the moves. Let's see the adventure moves to see what else is there. Face danger, secure advantage. I think face danger makes sense here to do it again. Okay, so we're going to face danger, and but but I think let's make this more interesting. Instead of doing it with wits, which is our highest attribute, I think now we are kind of linked with the passage, because we used the invoke asset before. So we are using our energy, our power, to keep it contained, and at the same time we're trying to actually close it. Okay, so we're not going to be using wits now, since we're channeling power. I think we could use plus heart, like we're hanging on to all this power, trying to close this portal. Okay, so I'm going to roll plus heart instead, and if we do this, that means that we are going to finish this progress track. Okay, so I'm going to roll plus heart, and we get a weak hit, but we do have this momentum, and I think I'm going to burn it. I want this to be like the final part of the adventure, so we go all out. Okay, so for a moment we feel weakening. We feel like this thing is escaping our grasp. It's going right through our power, but we do one more push with our momentum, and so we burn it, and it becomes a strong hit. And it becomes a strong hit. Okay, so on a strong hit you're successful, and you take +1 momentum. Okay, so we are successful, and we see the portal actually closes. Okay, and the mist, there's no more mist coming out. There's still residual mist. It didn't magically disappear, but it will disappear over time. Will disperse over time. So we managed to close it, but we still have to roll for progress. Okay, we have a full bar, so it's very unlikely, and we get it. Okay, We get a weak hit. Sorry. Okay. I pressed on the button before I open the appropriate move. Adventure. Where is it? Undertake a journey, or it's a vow? Is it vow? Yes. Fulfill your vow. Fulfill your vow. Okay. Okay. When you receive what you believe to be the fulfillment of your vow, roll for challenge die. On a strong hit. Okay. This is what I meant. We had a full bar, and we still got a weak hit because this was a 10. So it has to be it had to be a 9 or less for it to be a strong hit. So on a weak hit, there is more to be done, or you realize the truth of your quest. Envision what you discover, then mark experience. Okay, troublesome, dangerous for me. Okay, you may swear an iron vow to set this right. If you do, add +1. Very well. Okay, so we mark experience. It does say that troublesome give you 0 experience, but like I say, I'm doing this because I want these videos to be short, so I'm still going to be marking experience. So I mark 1 experience right here. Okay, for in this vow. Oh no, sorry, I meant. Okay, sorry about that. So we close it. We finish. We close the passage, which was the task, and that would advance this, and then we would have rolled. Okay. And it was a dangerous vow, so we do get the +1. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it's still a weak hit. On a weak hit, there is more to be done, so you realize the truth of your quest. I think this kind of ties more into what would happen next. I mean, we did fulfill the quest; it's closed. The Bronzefield should be saved, but we learned something about these passages, about these portals. There are more of them. We kind of glimpsed that the moment we were closing it, we had a vision of multiple portals being open and drawing from some other place, some other. I'm not gonna say dimension because that doesn't fit Ironsworn, but some other place that's not here. It's not on the world or the real world, so to say. So Ograss, right before he closed the portal or the passage, he felt he was hit with a vision of a myriad of passages that were drawing this mist and this dark power from this other place that is not quite in the same reality as us. Okay, so that set us up for further adventure down the road if we continue the journey of Ograss the Mystic. And this is a perfect place to finish this video. We had a very good beginning, traveled up to the dungeon, and then we defeated the main antagonist, which in this case was just there wasn't any enemies. Any foes. That's something I really like about this video. I really wanted to explore what a mystic character would look like, and I think this achieved that very nice, very good. And we even got to set up a next adventure if we were to continue it. I don't know, maybe we will. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and remember to like and subscribe, and remember that the tool that I'm using is called the Augur. I made it myself, and you can find more about it at augurvtt.com. And thank you for watching. See you on the next one.